Acharya Sutta Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Guru Swami ki jai. Namacharya Srila Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakti ki jai. Sri Radha Krishna Krishna Sam Radha Kuni ki jai. Vrindavan ki jai. Navadvip ki jai. Ganga Mai ki jai. Yamuna Mai ki jai. Tulsi Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Navadvip Bhakti ki jai. All glories to Krishna. All glories to Krishna. All glories to Krishna. Thank you very much.
The following is a class on the Bhagavad Gita as it is, 6th chapter, text number 2 through 5, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded in February of 1969 in Los Angeles.
Verse number 2. What is called renunciation is the same as yoga, or making oneself the supreme. For no one can become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification.
Here is the point of yoga practice. Yoga means to join. Now, in our conditioned state, although we are part and parcel of the Supreme, but we are now separated. The same example, this finger is part and parcel of your body, but if it is separated, amputated, it has no value. But so long it is joined with this body, its value is millions of dollars and more than that. If there is any disease, you can spend any amount to cure. Similarly, we at the present moment, in the conditioned state of material existence, we are separated from God. Therefore we are so much reluctant to speak of God, to understand about God, our relationship with God. We think it is simply waste of time. In this meeting, everyone knows that this temple, Krishna Consciousness Temple, is speaking of God or any church. People are not very much interested. They think that is a kind of what is called recreation in the name of spiritual advancement. Otherwise it is simply waste of time. Better this time could be used for earning some money or enjoying a club or in a restaurant, sense enjoyment. So, detraction from God means sense enjoyment. Those who are too much addicted to sense enjoyment, they are not eligible for yoga system. Yoga system is not that you go on doing all nonsense in sense gratification and in simply sit down meditation. This is simply colossal work. It has no meaning. Yoga system first is the sense, controlling the sense, yam niyam. There are 8 different stages of practicing yoga. Yam, niyam, asana, dhyan, dharana, pranayam, pratyahara, samadhi. So, in the beginning, first of all, we shall speak in this chapter. Lord Krishna will teach you what is yoga system. Therefore, in the beginning, Krishna says that no one can become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. So, anyone who is indulging in sense gratification is a nonsense. He is not a yogi. He cannot be a yogi. In yoga system, it's strictly celibacy. No sex life. That is yoga system. No one can become a yogi if he indulges in sex life. The so-called yogis come to your country and say, yes, whatever you like you can do. Stay, meditate, I give you some mantra. These are all nonsense. Here it is authoritative statement that no one can become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. This is the first condition. Go on.
Verse number 3. For one who is a neophyte in the Eightfold Yoga system, work is said to be the means, and for one who has already attained yoga, cessation of all material activities is said to be the means.
Yes. There is two stages. One who is practicing yoga to reach to the perfectional platform, and one who has attained the perfectional platform. So long one is not on the perfectional platform, just trying to do it. At that time there are so many works, that asana system, yam, niyam. So generally in your country there are so many yoga societies, they display this asana system, how to sit down, different postures. That helps. But that is the process simply to get on to the real platform. They are simply means. Real yoga system, perfection is different from those bodily gymnastic process. So there are two stages. One stage is trying to reach the perfectional platform, and another stage is one who has reached the perfectional platform.
Verse number 4. A person is said to have attained yoga when, having renounced all material desires, he neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in fruitive activities.
Yes. This is the perfectional stage of yoga system, yoga practice. A person is said to have attained to yoga. That means, yoga means connection. Just like the same example. Suppose this finger was out of my body. Or don't take this finger, take any machine part. It is out of the machine, lying idle. And as soon as you join with the machine, it works, different functions. Katakat, 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 it works. With yoga, it has been joined. Similarly, we are now differentiated. These material activities, fruitive activities, they have been described simply wasting time. Mudha. They have been described in the Bhagavad Gita as Mudha. Mudha means rascal. Why? such a big businessman, you say, Russell, why? He's earning thousands of dollars daily. But they haven't described Mudha, rascal, because they are working so hard, but what he is enjoying? He is enjoying the same amount of eating, sleeping and making. That's all. As a man who is earning millions of dollars daily, that does not mean he can enjoy making millions of women. No. That is not possible. His power of making is same, one who is earning $10. His power of eating is the same with man, one who is earning $10. So he does not think that my enjoyment of life is the same amount with the man who is earning $10. Then why I am working so hard for earning millions of dollars daily? Why am I spoiling my energy in that way? You see? They are called mudha. Actually, he should have engaged. When he earns millions of dollars daily, he should have engaged himself, his time and energy, how to understand God, what is the purpose of life, because he has no economic problem. So he has got enough time, he can utilize in Krishna consciousness or God consciousness. But he does not take part in that way. Therefore he is mudha. Mudha means ass. So his intelligence is not very nice. A person is said to have attained yoga when having renounced all material desires. If one is in perfection of yoga, then he is satisfied. He has no more any material desire. That is perfection. He neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in fruitive activities. Fruitive activities means you earn something for sense gratification. One is practically engaged in sense gratification and one is collecting money for sense gratification. So the fruitive activities, suppose pious activities. Pious activities according to Veda, everywhere, if you are virtuous, if you give some money in charity, it is virtuous activities. If you give some money for opening hospital, if you give some money for opening schools, free education, these are certainly virtuous activities. But they are also made for sense gratification. Suppose if I give in charity for distributing education, then in my next life I will be getting good facilities for education, I will be highly educated, or being educated I shall get nice post. But at the end, what is the idea? If I get a good post, if I get a good position, how do I utilize it? For sense gratification. Nicely. That's all. Because I do not know anything else. And that is fruitive activities. If I go to heaven, a better standard of life, suppose in your America, a better standard of life than India. But what does this mean, better standard of life? The same, eating, sleeping in a better time, that's all. You are not doing anything more. They are also eating. They are eating some coarse grain. You are eating very nice thing, but eating. Not beyond this eating. So, by better standard of life does not mean any spiritual realization. A better standard of eating, sleeping, mating, that's all. So this is called fruitive activity. The fruitive activity is also another pattern of sense gratification. But it is on the basis of sense gratification. And yoga means connection with the Supreme. When the Supreme is connected, as soon as, just like Dhruva Maharaj, as soon as he saw God, Narayan, the boy was undergoing severe austerities, penances, to see God. He saw. But when he saw, then he said, Shamin kita kusmi barang na jase. My dear Lord, I am now fully satisfied. I don't want to ask anything, any benediction from you. Yes, what is benediction? Benediction means you get very nice kingdom, or a very nice wife, or very nice food stuff, very nice, these things we consider as benediction. But actually when one becomes connected with God, he does not want any such benediction. He is satisfied, fully satisfied. Shamim kitatosmi, barang na jach. The history of this Dhruva Maharaj, I have told you many times, that he was a child, 5 years boy, old. He was insulted by his stepmother. He was sitting on the lap of his father. He was trying. And his stepmother said, oh, you cannot sit on the lap of your father because you are not born in my womb. So he was Kshatriya boy, although 5 years old, he took it a great insult. So he went to his own mother. Stepmother has insulted like this. He was crying. His mother said, what can I do, my dear boy? Your father loves your stepmother more. What can I do? No, I want my father's kingdom. Tell me how can I get it? The mother said, my dear boy, Krishna, God blesses you can get. Where is God? She said, oh, we have heard God is in the forest. Great sages go there and find out. She went to the forest and underwent severe penances and he saw God. But when he saw God, Narayan, he is no more anxious for the kingdom of his father. He is no more anxious. He said, my dear Lord, I am satisfied, fully satisfied. I do not want any more my kingdom, the kingdom of my father. He gave the comparison that I was searching out some pearls, but I have got valuable jewels. So that means he is more satisfied. When you actually connect yourself with God, then you feel yourself many millions times satisfied than enjoying this material world. That is God realization. That is the perfection of yoga.
When a person is fully engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, he is pleased with himself, and thus he is no longer engaged in sense gratification or in fruitive activities. Otherwise, one must be engaged in sense gratification, since one cannot live without engagement.
Yeah, that is the point. We must have engagement. We cannot stop. The same example. You cannot stop a child working or in activities. By nature, we are living entities, we must act. It is not possible to stop activities. So, just like it is said, An idle brain is a devil's work. So, if you have no good engagement, then you will have to engage yourself in something nonsense. Just like child, if he is not engaged in education, he becomes a spoiled child. Similarly, our two business, either material sense gratification or Krishna consciousness or bhakti yoga or yoga. So if I am not in yoga system, then I must be in sense gratification. And if I am sense gratification, there is no question of yoga. Gone.
Without Krishna consciousness, one must be always seeking self-centered or extended selfish activities. But a Krishna-conscious person can do everything for the satisfaction of Krishna, and thereby be perfectly detached from sense gratification. One who has no such realization must mechanically try to escape material desires before being elevated to the top rung of the yoga ladder.
Yoga ladder. Yoga ladder, it has been compared with a ladder, just like steps. In a big skyscraper house, there are steps. So, every step is a progress. That's a fact. So, the whole step ladder may be called the yoga system. But one may be on the 5th step, another may be on the 50th step, another may be on the 500th step, and another may be on the top of the house. So although the whole ladder is called yoga system or staircase, but one who is on the 5th step, he cannot be equal with the person who is on the 50th step. Or one who is on the 50th step, he cannot be compared with the man who is on the 500th step. Similarly, in Bhagavad Gita, you will find Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. It is stated with the name Yoga because the whole ladder is connected with the topmost floor. So, every system is connected with God, Krishna. But that does not mean every man is on the topmost floor. One who is on the topmost floor, he is to be understood in Krishna consciousness. Others, they are just like 5th or 50th or 500 lives. The whole thing is called ladder. Wow.
Verse number 5. A man must elevate himself by his own mind, not degrade himself. Mind is the friend of the conditioned soul, and his enemy as well. Report. The Sanskrit word atma, self, denotes body, mind, and soul, depending upon different circumstances. In the yoga system, the mind and the conditioned soul are especially important. Since the mind is the central plank of yoga practice, Atma here refers to the mind. The purpose of the yoga system is to control the mind and to draw it away from attachment to sense objects. It is stressed herewith that the mind must be so trained that it can deliver the conditioned soul from the mire of nations.
In the Ashtanga Yoga system, this 8-fold yoga system, Dhyana, they are meant for controlling the mind. Don't make sound. Mind, unless you control the mind, in the beginning it is said, a man must elevate himself by his own mind. Mind is the driver. The body is the chariot or car. So, just like if you ask your driver please get me into Krishna consciousness temple. The driver will bring you here. And if you ask your driver, please get me in that liquor house, the driver will drive you there. The driver business is to drive you wherever you like. Similarly, your mind is the driver. If you can control the battery, if the driver takes your license that wherever he likes he will take it, then you are gone. Then your driver is your enemy. But if your driver acts on your order, then he is your friend. So actually, the yoga system means control the mind in such a way that he will act as your friend, not as your enemy. Actually, the mind is acting as because I have got little independence, because I am part and parcel of the Supreme who has got full independence, therefore I have got little independence. The mind is controlling that independence. If mind says, all right, let me go to the Krishna conscious temple, and the mind can say, what is that nonsense? Krishna, let us go to some club. So mind is driving him. So therefore, our Krishna consciousness movement is to fix up the mind in Krishna. That's all. He cannot but act as friend. You see, he has no scope to give anyone place. As soon as Krishna is seated on the mind, just like as soon as there is sunshine, the sun is on the sky, there is no scope of darkness. There is no possibility. Darkness will never come before the sun. Similarly, Krishna is just like sun. If you keep Krishna on the mind, the Maya darkness will never be able to come. That is the first class of the system. That is the perfection of the system. One whose mind is so strong that mind will not allow any nonsense to come in. Then where is your fall down? The mind is strong, the driver is strong. He cannot take you anywhere unless you desire. So, the whole yoga system means to make the mind strong, not to deviate from the Supreme. That is perfection of yoga. Savai mana Krishna padaravindayo. One should fix up, just like Ambarish Maharaj fixed up his mind only on Krishna. And there was a fight between a great yogi, Ashtanga yogi, Durvasa Muni. Maharaj Ambarish, he was a king, he was a householder, he was counseling man. A householder means he has to take account of counseling pence, dollars, cents. King, he was actually king. So Durvasa Muni was a great yogi. He was envious of this king. That, how is that? I am so great a yogi, I can travel in this space, and this man is ordinary king. He cannot show such jugglery of yoga system, but still people honor him most. What? I shall teach him some lesson. So he picked up some quarrel with the king. That's a long story. I shall state it some other day. So after all he was defeated, and he was directed by Narayan to take shelter of the feet of the king Maharaj Ambarish. These instances we see from authoritative scripture that he was simply keeping Krishna in his mind. and he defeated the greatest yogi. Durvasa Muni, he was so perfect yogi that within 1 year he traveled all over this material space and beyond the material space in the spiritual space, that went directly to the kingdom of abode of God, Vaikuntha, and saw the personality of Godhead personally. Still he was so weak that he has to come back and fall down on the feet of Maharaj Ambarish. But Maharaj Ambarish, he was ordinary king, he was simply thinking of Krishna, that's all. These instances we see. Therefore, the highest perfection of yoga system is to control the mind. And you can control the mind very easily if you keep the lotus 2 feet of Krishna within you. Simply think of Krishna and you are calm. You are victorious. You become the topmost. Because after all, the yoga system is yoga indriya samyama. Yoga means to control the senses. And above the sense, the mind. So if you control the mind, the senses are controlled automatically. Your tongue wants to eat something, nonsense, but if your mind is strong, mind says, no, you cannot eat. You cannot eat anything except Krishna Prasad. Then tongue is controlled. So, senses are controlled by the mind. Indrani pararahu, indriya paramanaha. My body means senses. So, the senses, my activities mean sensual activities, that's all. But above the senses is the mind. Above the mind is the intelligence. And above the intelligence is the spirit soul. If one is on the spiritual platform, on the soul platform, then his intelligence is spiritualized, his mind is spiritualized, his senses are spiritualized, he is spiritualized. This is the process of Krishna consciousness. Because actually the spirit soul is working, but he has given his power of attorney to this nonsense mind. He is sleeping. But when he is awakened, the master is awakened, the servant cannot do anything nonsense. Similarly, if you are awakened in Krishna consciousness, your intelligence, your mind or your senses cannot act nonsensically. They must according to that. That is spiritualization. That is called purification. Rishikena Rishikesa Sevanam Bhakti Richat. Bhakti means to act spiritually. How you can act? You have to act with your senses. Therefore you have to spiritualize your senses. Meditation, stopping action means stopping nonsense. But acting in Krishna consciousness is transcendental. That's why you have to stop your senses acting nonsense. But that is not perfection. You have to act nicely. That is perfection. Otherwise, if you don't train your senses to act nicely, you will again fall down with nonsense activities. So you have to give engagement to the senses to act for Krishna. Then there is no chance of fall down. That is Krishna consciousness. Wow.
In material existence, one is subjected to the influence of the mind and the senses. In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because of the mind's ego, which desires to lord it over material nature. Therefore, the mind should be trained so that it will not be attracted by the glitter of material nature. In this way, the conditioned soul may be saved. One should not degrade oneself by attraction to sense objects. The more one is attracted by sense objects, the the more one becomes entangled in material existence. The best way to disentangle oneself is always to engage the mind in Krishna's service. The Sanskrit word Hare in this verse is used for emphasizing this point, i.e., that one must do this. It is also said, for man, mind is the cause of bondage, and mind is the cause of liberation. Mind absorbed in sense object is the cause of bondage, and mind detached from the sense object is the cause of liberation. Therefore, the mind, which is always engaged in Krishna consciousness, is the cause of supreme liberation.
There is no chance, mind being engaged all in Krishna consciousness, there is no chance of its being engaged in Maya consciousness. The more we engage our mind in Krishna consciousness, the more you keep yourself in the sunlight, there is no chance of getting into darkness. That is the process. If you like, you are at liberty. You can keep yourself within the room in darkness and you can come in the broad daylight. That depends on your choice. But when you come in the broad sunlight, there is no chance of darkness. Darkness can be eradicated by light, but light cannot be covered by darkness. Suppose you are in a dark room, you bring one lamp, the darkness is over. But you take something dark and go to the sunlight, or it will fade out. So Krishna Sujya Sama Maya Andhara. Krishna is just like sunlight, and Maya is just like darkness. So, what darkness will do in sunlight? You keep yourself in sunlight, darkness will fade, act upon you. This is the whole philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Keep always yourself engaged in Krishna consciousness activities. Maya will not be able to touch you, because there is no possibility of darkness become influential in life. That is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that when Vasudev, under the instruction of his spiritual master Narad, by Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yogi Pranihite Sammak, Pranihite Amale, Bhakti Yogi na Manasi. The same mind, Manasi means mind. When enlightened by Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti light, Bhakti Yogina Manasi Sammak Pranihite Amale. When the mind becomes completely free from all contamination, that can be done by Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yogina Manasi Sammak Pranihite Male Apasat Visang Purnam. He saw the Supreme Personality of God. Maya Jagadapasram, and he saw this Maya just on the background. Apasram. Light and darkness, along with, just like here is light, there is darkness also here, little darkness. The darkness remains under the shelter of light, but light does not remain under the shelter of darkness. So, Vasudev saw Krishna, the Supreme Lord, and this Maya darkness of Ashram, just under his shelter. And who is this Maya? That is explained. Jaya Sanmohito Jiva, the same Maya, the same illusory energy which has covered these conditioned souls. And who are those conditioned? Jaya Sanmohito Jiva, Atmanam Trigunatmakam. Although the spirit soul is as light as Krishna or God, although small, but he is identifying himself with this material world. Jaya Tanme. This is called illusion. When we identify ourselves with this matter. Jaya Sanmahita Jiva Atmanam Trigunatmana Paropi Manute Artha. Although he is transcendental, he still is engaged in nonsensical activities. Paropi Manute Anartha Tat Kritancha Vipaddate, and he acts dictated by this Maya. These are very nicely explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the first canto you will find 7th chapter. So, our position is that we are spiritual spark, lightning spark. But now we are covered by this illusory energy Maya. And we are being dictated by the Mayan acting and becoming entangled more and more in material energy. And you have to get out from this entanglement by this yoga or perfect yoga of Krishna consciousness. That is yoga system. All right, stop.
Hare Krishna. Yoga means what? In the beginning, Prabhupada said. Yes, Srila.
Yoga means controlling the senses.
Okay. That also is true.
And stopping from all kinds of sense gratification.
Yes, that is correct. That comes later. In the beginning, it is just 2 words. 2 words. That is 1 word. Yes. There.
To join.
Haribol. It's okay. How did Prabhupada explain our conditional state with some example? One example. Yes, Ashok.
Prabhupada explained our conditional state as the finger cut out from our hand.
Then what is the value of that finger?
Then it has no value. So similarly, if we are cut out from the God, then we don't have any value.
Haribo. Why do people visit temple or church? What is their conception, understanding about temple or church? Yes.
People consider that to be some kind of recreation, spiritual recreation.
So they don't have understanding that it is for spiritual advancement. So otherwise they consider it's a waste of time. Better this time could be used for earning some money or enjoying in a club or in a restaurant. That is sense enjoyment. Haribol. Then he said detraction from God means sense enjoyment. What is the first thing in yoga system? Yes, bro. Asanas is not the first thing. If you see Ashtanga, first is not asana. What is the first one?
Yam.
Yes, who answered? Actually, yourself only. What is yam? Yamaraj?
sense gratification things है ना,
Sense gratification.
उनसे दूर हटना कि
Till in the mic, na?
अपनी senses को उनसे हटा के
Sense control is the first step in yoga. Haribo. What does Krishna say that in the beginning that no one can become a yogi unless yes
who detach himself from sense gratification.
Haribo. Anyone who is indulging in sense gratification, he is a nonsense. He is not a yogi. He cannot be a yogi. Yoga system is strictly dash or dash dash dash. कौन प्रवचन दे रहे? ठीक है चलो. नित्यम भागवत सेवया. Okay. Yoga system is strictly, fill in the blanks is difficult. Yoga system is strictly celibacy, no sex life. Then how many stages or steps of yoga system were told? What is the, I don't know, I'll tell you two. What are the two levels of yoga practice? They are explained in that verse only, 6.3. Yes, Sir Lakshan Prabhu. There are Sanskrit words which Prabhupada did not tell, but he told the meaning.
One is practicing, another is perfection.
Haribo. So then he told something about what goes on in the Western countries in relation to this only. Yes, Tribhangopal Bro.
They practice only first two angas of Ashtanga Yoga, that is Yam and Niyam, sitting.
Asana. They don't even so much talk about Yam Niyam because you can do any nonsense in life, no problem. Just come and sit in some way, asana, something like that. And there is no talk about?
No talk about spiritual control of mind.
And the perfection is never reached because they are stuck in this one practice only.
Preliminary practices.
Preliminary practice. Haribo. How did Prabhupada explain the word mudha? He elaborated also. Yes, bro.
Prabhupada was mentioning that even if a person earns millions of rupees, his power to mate will, it's not like he can mate with millions of women. The power to mate will be remain the same, but he is mudha because he does not consider that and he does not go for spiritual engagement.
Haribo. They haven't described mudha, rascal, because they are working so hard. But what he is enjoying? He is enjoying the same amount of eating, sleeping and mating. That's all. So he does not think that my enjoyment of life is the same amount with the man who is earning $10. Then why am I working so hard for earning millions of dollars daily? Why am I spoiling my energy in that way? You see, they are called mudha. So Prabhupada says actually he should have engaged. Such a person who has a lot of money, he should have engaged in what? Yes, Prabhupada.
He is telling he has got so much of money and all that, so he is having so much of comfortable situation. So he should have engaged his time in Krishna consciousness.
Engaged. He should have engaged himself, his time and energy, how to understand God. What is the purpose of life? Haribo. Fruitive activities means what? Okay, Tribhangopal.
Fruitive activities means earning something to do sense gratification. He tells about earning money, and then next para he tells about pious activities also.
Like can explain pious activities also. You can explain pious.
Okay. Pious activities means he says that if I do give charity to hospitals, education, etc., then also what is the purpose of that activities? Suppose if I give money for good education, then next life I will get good education, and after that I will get good post. After that post, what will I do? I will do sense gratification. So in that way he tells
fruitive activities means sense gratification.
Sense gratification.
Haribo. Prabhupada said, because I do not know anything else. So So for him productive activity means sense gratification only ultimately. He gave example of America that there is a better standard of life. So better standard of life, what does it mean? How did Prabhupada explain?
Better enjoyment, better sleeping, better eating, better...
Just these four things only: eating, sleeping, mating and defending. Hari Bol! The same eating, sleeping or better type of mating, defending, that's all. You are not doing anything more. What is considered as benediction? This is in connection with Dhruva Maharaj's story. What is considered as benediction? Yes, Sir Lakshman.
If you have got some material facility, you can practice Krishna consciousness nicely. You can engage everything in the service of the Lord.
Dhruva Maharaj life connection.
Dhruva Maharaj, he was...
in that context it came, but what people consider to be benediction?
People consider that if they get material facility, better material facility, then they think that they have got benediction.
Benediction means you get very nice kingdom or very nice wife or very nice foodstuff. So this is what the material things. Hari Bol. But what happened to Dhruva Maharaj? When he came in touch with God, he saw God. What happens? Yes.
Krutartho manne varam na yache. He is fully satisfied.
Hari Bol. So he does not want then any such benediction. Originally Dhruva Maharaj went to forest in order to get a kingdom greater than his great grandfather Brahma even. But when he saw the Lord, then he said, I was looking for broken pieces of glass, but I have got now a transcendental gem. And Prabhupada's words, I was searching for some pebbles, but I have got valuable jewels. Prabhupada said, when you actually connect yourself with God, then you feel yourself many millions of times satisfied than enjoying this material world. That is God realization. That is perfection of yoga. Why one must engage in sense gratification? Yes, Hari Gaurang bro.
Prabhupada was saying that the living entity has only two stages. Either is doing sense gratification or Krishna consciousness. But if somebody is not doing Krishna consciousness, then he is forced to do sense gratification. Because Jivatma is active, he has to do something.
Yes, Haribo. By nature, we living entities, we must act. It is not possible to stop activities. So in this context, he gave one example and one phrase also he told. In connection with this only, what your discussion is going on? Tribhangopal.
Phrase is idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Meaning?
Yeah, if we have no productive activities to do, then mind will, then we will do some nonsense activities. He gave the example of child also. Child, he should be engaged properly. Otherwise, he will do nonsense. He gave the example also that child should be given education. If education is not given, then he will do nonsense.
Spoiled child, spoiled child. Haribo. How did he explain yoga ladder? The word yoga ladder. Yes.
The Prabhupada compares the yoga ladder to the different steps of a building. So one can be at a different, one can 5th step, 100 step, 500 steps. Similarly, yoga ladder finally connects ones to God, but karma, dhyana, different are at the different steps. They are not on the same level.
So one who has reached the top, he has reached the perfection. That is Bhakti Yoga. So others are on the way, they are connected to Krishna, but that does not mean that every man is on the topmost floor. Haribo. what did Prabhupada compare the mind to? And how did he describe? Yes, sir.
He compared the mind to a driver. So, if the mind is controlled, then the driver will obey the instructions of the passenger that if you take me to the Krishna conscious temple, he'll take him there. But if the mind is not controlled, he's like a driver who will take you anywhere. He'll take you to a clubhouse or something.
Harivo. So, in regard to these two ways the mind may respond, so what is mind called? That is in relationship with the next verse. Yes, Raghu Guru.
When the mind is acting as per the order of the soul, then it is friend. Otherwise, the mind remains the enemy.
Harivo. Prabhupada said our Krishna consciousness movement is dash 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 dash. You may not tell as it is, but in essence if you could tell. Yes.
Always fixing the mind on Krishna.
Harivo. So this fixing of mind on our, fixing of Krishna in our mind, he compared with something, a natural phenomenon. What is that? Yes.
Yeah, this is my guess. I mean, a part of a machine, is it?
And that is not natural. Machine is man-made. Natural phenomenon. Something. Yes.
The sunlight and the darkness. When sunlight is, so the lotus feet of Krishna is keeping our heart is like a sunlight in the mind, and the darkness which goes away.
So what is the darkness that goes away?
Darkness is the maya, the desire to sense gratification is goes away.
Harivo. As soon as Krishna is seated on the mind, just like as soon as there is sunshine, the sun is on the sky, there is no scope of darkness. There is no possibility. Darkness will never become before the sun. Similarly, Krishna is just like the sun. How does fall down not take place? Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhupada says when one always engages in one's senses in the service of Krishna, there is no question of fall down.
Correct. One whose mind is so strong that mind will not allow any nonsense to come in, then where is your fall down? The mind is strong, the driver is strong, he cannot take you anywhere unless you desire. Harivo. He said the whole yoga system means to make the mind strong, not to deviate from the supreme. That is perfection of yoga system. And then he quoted Savai Mana Krishna, Padara Vindayor, Ambrish Maharaj story. In that context he said householder means, describing Ambrish Maharaj, householder means.
Pound ceiling man, pound ceiling dollar, cent man. He tells many different ways.
Okay, correct. Householder means he has to take account of pound, shilling, pence, dollars, cents. Basically, householders have to have some money for their livelihood, running the house, etc. So, Amrish Maharaj was into all these things. Harivo! Prabhupada was, so to say, describing external superficial contrast. How Amrish Maharaj was into all these things, and this Durvasa, he was a great yogi and all that. So he became very proud, thinking, who is this man of pound, shillings, pence? So then I will teach him a lesson. So that's where, but he did not understand, Durvasa Muni, that Amrish Maharaj was a pure devotee of the Lord. So how did Amrish Maharaj defeat the greatest yogi? Yes, Raghu. In one line.
Because he was always keeping Krishna in his mind, so he could defeat the greatest yogi.
He was simply keeping Krishna in his mind and he defeated the greatest yogi. Hare Bol. Then in that conclusion only Prabhupada said, you can control the mind very easily if you keep the two lotus feet of Krishna within you. That's all. Simply think of Krishna and you are conqueror, you are victorious. You become the topmost yogi. What is the connection between mind and senses in relationship to yoga system? Yes, Ujjwal Nilmani Guru.
If mind is controlled, automatically senses also get controlled. And so if you are able to control the mind, senses are automatically.
Okay, Hare Bol. Yoga means to control the senses, and above the sense is the mind. So if you control the mind, the senses are automatically controlled. Your tongue wants to eat something nonsense, but if your mind is strong, mind says no, you cannot eat. You cannot eat anything except Krishna Prasad. Then tongue is controlled. Senses are controlled by the mind. Indriyani paranyahur, indriyabhya param manaha. What is spiritualization or purification? Okay, Hari Gaurang.
So Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti, that using everything in service of Krishna.
Something more. That is true. At the end he said, but something before he said. Yes, Tribhangopal.
Same context, like Prabhupada said, above the body is the mind, intelligence, and then soul. So when soul is completely attached to Krishna, then everything, intelligence, mind and body, everything becomes spiritualized. That is the spiritualization, perfection. Prabhupada says.
Hare Bol. Prabhupada said actually the spirit soul is working, but he has given his power of attorney to this nonsense mind. He is sleeping. But when he is awakened, means the soul is awakened, the master is awakened, the servant cannot do anything nonsense. Similarly, if you are awakened in Krishna consciousness, your intelligence, your mind or your senses cannot act nonsensically. They must act according to whatever soul dictates. That is spiritualization, that is purification. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Stopping action means dash dash, 2 words. Yes.
Acting for Krishna. When one is
acting for Krishna is 3 words, 2 words. Yes. Tribhangopal Prabhu. That is perfection.
Action means not perfection. Not perfection. Not perfection. Not perfect stage. Stopping the action.
Stopping action means stopping nonsense.
Okay.
Hare Bol. Prabhupada said bhakti means to act spiritually. How you can act? You have to act with your senses. Therefore, you have to spiritualize your senses. Meditation. Stopping action means stopping nonsense. But acting in Krishna consciousness is transcendental. Just like you have to stop your senses acting nonsense, but that is not perfection. So ahead you have to go. And that is keeping the mind Krishna conscious. Mind being engaged always in Krishna consciousness. There is no chance of its being engaged in Maya consciousness. What? Prabhupada said something about your choice. What is that your choice? Yes, Tribhangopal.
Prabhupada gave the example of if you are in a dark room, either you can come out of towards sunlight or you can stay within. So that's your choice. And he also explains how darkness can eradicate can't eradicate the light, but light can eradicate the darkness and all. So that's your choice.
So whether we want to be Krishna conscious or we want to be Maya conscious, that is our choice. Hare Bol. So this, how did he explain? Krishna Surya Sama Maya Hai Andhakar. You already gave hint, but still, Prabhupada explained a little bit.
When Krishna is there is no Maya.
Yeah, something more.
जब प्रकाश होता है तो हम कौन सी भी अंधेरे की वस्तु लेके जाएंगे तो वो फेड हो जाएगी, पर जब अंधेरा होगा तो प्रकाश में यदि लैंप हम लेके जाएंगे तो वो अंधेरा फेड हो जाता है.
हाँ वैसे ही, हाँ वो एनालॉजी हुआ, तो उसका क्या?
वैसे मतलब कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस हुए तो माया कॉन्शियसनेस अपने आप में चली जाएगी ऐसे.
माया डोमिनेट नहीं कर सकती, वो भगवान के आश्रय में. मायाम च तद अपाश्रयम, जैसे व्यासदेव जी ने देखा कि माया है कृष्ण के पीछे है, वो आश्रय लेके रही है, वो डोमिनेट नहीं कर सकती भगवान. तो कृष्ण डोमिनेट्स ओवर माया, माया कैन नॉट डोमिनेट ओवर कृष्ण. हरि बोल. There is no possibility of darkness becoming influential in light. How did Prabhupada explain this little Sanskrit? Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite amale. What is the meaning? This sloka only, when Prabhupada was explaining. It's a little technical. Technical means, yes, not so technical.
Bhakti yogena manasi means we can mind should be free from contamination. That's what he told about manasi. And then bhakti yogena, then he told that then we can practice bhakti yoga. Then we can be in bhakti yoga properly. Proper says that.
Bhakti yogena manasi. If one practices bhakti yoga, then what happens? Samyak pranihite amale. He becomes freed from all contamination. Prabhupada words, Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite amale. When the mind becomes completely freed from all contamination, that can be done by bhakti yoga. Hari bol. So mayam cha tad apashrayam, he said. So who is this maya? Yes.
Yaya sammohito jiva. One who covers the keeps the living entities in illusion.
Rivo. And who are those conditioned? Very simple, but unless we know this sloka or heard properly, yeah.
Sloka words, but
no problem.
The living entity desires to enjoy in material world, so he's covered. He's covered by the material energy.
Yaya sammohita jiva atmanam trigunatmakam. Although this spirit soul is light as Krishna, means as bright light, or God, although small, but he is identifying himself with the material world. Yaya sammohita. This is called illusion, when we identify ourselves with this matter. So that is conditioned soul. Hari bol. So again, paropi manote anartham tatkritam chabhipadyate. What to do? Prabhupada explained, so that's why I am asking.
He is dictated by the material energy, Maya. Maya dictates his actions. He is acting based on that. So
although he is transcendental, still he is engaged in nonsensical activities. Paropi manute anartham tatkritam chabhipadyate. And he acts dictated by this Maya. Hari bol. And last question, what was the conclusion of the whole discussion? Means the way Prabhupada concluded.
The living
yes, Lakshman answered. You gave many answers. Give chance to others. You had two choices.
Prabhupada said we should always engage our senses in the service of the Lord. Then Maya will not act on us.
Hari bol. The whole paragraph is, so our position is that we are spiritual sparks, lightning sparks, but now we are covered by this illusory energy, Maya, and we are being dictated by the Maya and acting and becoming entangled more and more in material energy. And you have to get out of this entanglement by this yoga or perfect yoga of Krishna consciousness, that is yoga system. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे।